coming to lap 17 of 35. You're going to start working your way up. Now's the time to do it. So Spencer is getting in line, going to make sure he can work his way up through the field. A couple other guys that are doing well, though, and working their way up. Tyler Overstreet is up to 7th. Brian Wortman is in 9th. Shane Ewing in 10th. Richard Beasley in 11th. Those three are all fighting for a transfer spot. They don't have to be the top transfer guy, but they have to be one of the top transfer guys. There's 8 of them advancing, so they need to be top 8 of the non-locked-in drivers in order to do it. They are all good right now, but working their way in is important, and they have to hold their position.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And right now, everybody's just trying to see what they can do here, as it's a good race so far, man, amongst all these guys.
It certainly is, and we are live on YouTube. It is all working over there. You can now watch on your platform of choice as long as you tune in, and make sure to stay on the OSR network. It's the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series, starting off the first race of 2020. We've got the duels right here, and we're halfway through Duel 1.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, man, everybody's starting off pretty good so far. As you said, dual race, side by side here, man, definitely.
I'm amazed at how patient everyone is being right now, and I hope that it continues on through the rest of the night. But everyone is just being smart, they're being patient, and they know it's 35 laps, and you're not going to win this thing if you wreck the truck. That is for darn sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're right. You definitely don't want to put the truck into the wall or actually, hit anything. But I tell you what, it is definitely a good race so far amongst all these guys up here. As David Comstock's still holding the field, Chad Coleman's right there alongside of him. Ron Howard's doing pretty good. Dual race 1 is out and about.
You'll see up in the top left of your screen, there is a time ticker going off. We're at 14 and a half minutes now, actually about 15 minutes. Don't worry about that. We are no risk of hitting the time limit unless these guys start wrecking like crazy. We are going to 35 laps, and that is all. We are on lap 19 now, coming to lap 20 soon. Jimmy Coleman is the top guy right now. He's in that number 3 truck, green, white, and black. He's making that inside work. He's just been cruising 2nd or 3rd on the inside line the whole time. That's all he has to do. Play it smart, make your transfer, and get your spot in the lead.
Yes, it does. As they storm all past the start-finish line, still side by side, locked up. That's what you're going to see with these trucks all night long. I mean, these trucks definitely, they get it done out here. And David Comstock's been the man up front with Ryan Howard, Chad Coleman, Nick Silver, Jimmy Coleman, Trey Edson, Tyler Overstreet there with Jeff Ryan, Brian Wortman. I got to give a good shout out to Brian there, doing an outstanding job here. Richard Beasley up to 10th. So right now, it's still anybody's race there, Jeff. I mean, any of these guys could pull it off here at Daytona.
You are right. There's not too much movement through the field, honestly. Our biggest mover up 10 spots is Joey Gattina in that 14 truck. Started 25th. He's up to 15th now. Spencer Boyd, though, started 22nd, sitting in 23rd right now, still towards the tail end of this lead pack here. It's one big pack. He's at the tail end of it. He needs to finish top 8 of the guys that are not locked in. And if he's going to make his move, 15 laps to go sounds like a good time to me.
Now is times when you start thinking about what are you going to do here. You're lap 21 or 35 in the dual race 1. You're sitting there thinking, man, I got to get one of those top 8 positions so that I can get myself locked into the big show here next week and get this thing going as we're going to kick off the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky series. And want to give a good shout out to Jason Barham and company out there for coming on board here. Kick-Ass Beef Jerky, they do have a promotion out there. I'll try to get that here for the dual race 2. Remember, we have 2 races here tonight, and they're both 35-lap events. We have dual race 1 and dual race 2 coming up, so don't go anywhere when the dual race 1's over with, because we'll just kind of put a splash screen up, and then we'll just switch on servers and go over there and bring all the action to you. But tonight, like I said, want to appreciate it. And there's a code out there you can get 19% off, man, some Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. And I'll tell you what, Jeff, they sent me a package one time of it. It actually was pretty good. Which time I like beef, you got to like beef jerky in a nutshell.
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite things to snack on. I have not had Kick-Ass Beef Jerky before, but I'm probably going to end up ordering some. I'm stuck inside all day, so I might as well, right?
Absolutely. I tell you what, that's a good one right now. These boys, man, I'm going to go ahead and say it might not be politically correct or family friendly, but they're kicking ass on the track right now, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely right. And I mean, hey, we could sort of toe the line, have some fun with that sponsor. I remember when Hell of a Good was sponsoring a race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. The announcer at the end of the race went, and that was one hell of a good race.
Absolutely.
Sure that he stayed family friendly, but you can make it work.
Well, that's true. You know, definitely don't want to make anybody bad out there. But hey, it is a good one. And I appreciate those guys coming aboard. They've been a part of the Sim500 for a while, but right now, look at Nick Silver. He is battling to the front. Ryan Howard right there. David Comstock's falling off the pace a little bit.
He has just a tiny bit. Looks like these top 6 cars are pulling away a little bit. They've got some room to work. Jimmy Coleman just playing it safe here, though. He's 4th on the inside line. He just needs to run his race. He's the highest running driver that isn't locked in. Tyler Overstreet behind, Shane Ewing, Brian Wertman, Richard Beasley. Those guys are all not locked in. From 7th to 11th, those guys aren't locked in. Joey Gattina is the 6th one that would transfer. Brandon Key, 7th. Corey Chester, 8th. That leaves Matisse, Harley, Shirley, Wimbish, and Boyd and Colby all out right now. It's not too late for them to make it, but they better pick up the pace here. 12 laps to go.
And like I said earlier, remember I said textbook draft and throw it out the back door, because right there they're putting a tailgate party up front. David Comstock is pushing for everything he's worth on the 33 of Ryan Howard. As they come out of turn 4 to complete the lap up high, though, you got the 15 of Nick Silver right there. They are side by side, door to door. The guys in the back need to start thinking about what way can I do to get up front here. Time is running out at Daytona. We're at lap 25, 10 to go the next time around. You got to think about it. Man, I tell you what, though, it's been kind of a stalemate so far.
18 thousandths of a second is what separated first and second right there. Advantage to the inside line here. It's easier to get a good run going, but the outside right now, Nick Silver is barely ahead. He's not clear of the 33, so he's not going to jump down. At least I hope he doesn't jump down. But right now, Ryan Howard makes a push to the inside, and the inside has the advantage. That 10 car is a little bit further back, and the 3 car is just making sure he stays clean. He is the first non-guaranteed spot. So he needs to just finish where he's at. He's not going to get up and start pushing these guys. He doesn't need to push the push or anything. He's playing it safe, but advantage to Ryan Howard there on that last lap. 10 to go here at Daytona.
Absolutely, 10 to go, and these guys have got to think about it in the back. Get up there. They need those 8 spots. Joey Catina's on the move. He loves track plate racing. He does very well here at it. He's up to 8th right now. Jimmy Coleman's hanging 7th, but up front it is a battle side by side with Nick Silver and company, man, dueling out in turn 3 right here. Door to door, and they have got some heavy hitters behind them of David Comstock and Trey Etzen there trying to push them to the front.
Right now, they've got lap traffic, though. Steve Gottschalk is running all by himself. He's keeping it up by the wall, but it gets a little bit dicey here when you're going by someone. You're about 20 miles an hour quicker than that when he's out there running by himself. So we're going to blow right on by Steve Gottschalk. No issues there as they go 3 wide through the field. Everyone is making it work so far, but Steve Gottschalk, he's locked in. He doesn't need to worry. But guys that aren't locked in and are currently sitting on the outside looking in, well, you've got Spencer Boyd, Shirley, Chester, Harley, Wimbish. They're all on the outside and are not locked in. You have just a couple laps to go here. That's the story to watch, because those guys need to finish well here. But the guys that are doing good, that 3 car, you got Jimmy Coleman, Joey Gattina, Shane Ewing, Brandon Keith, Tyler Overstreet. They're all locked in. They're going to be fine. But if they're not careful, they could lose those spots, and then they are out.
And like I said, it doesn't matter. Coming from the back to the front to the middle, I've seen him come off pit lane and win this race. Right now, you talk about John Wimbish. He has got to fight his way in. They're almost 3 wide in the back there with Wimbish and company. I tell you what, you can already tell them getting racy there. They got to make waves to get to the front. Time's running out in dual race 1. And like I said, it's only going to be the top 8 drivers that are not locked in are the ones that's going to make it in here.
I don't want to jinx anything, but can anyone remember the last time we went to Daytona without the big one? Because I can't.
I can't either.
There's always a wreck.
Oh, man. Well, listen, like you said, let's don't jinx it. So far, they've done an outstanding job locked up. But like I said, as the laps wind down, the patience wears thin. You've got to make it to the front. They're motoring these machines as hard as they can to get out there. Ryan Howard, David Comstock, Chad Coleman, Nick Silver, and Jimmy Coleman and company all right there, door to door and nose to tail.
There's just 7 more circuits around Daytona International Speedway, 15 miles for these guys. Sounds like a lot, but when you're moving at 185 miles an hour, time is running low. Is there 3 wide at the back? Oh, they make it work, but barely. A little bit of contact, some hurt feelings, I'm sure. Daniel Shirley holds on with there in that 49 truck, it looked like.
Absolutely right there. You're talking about it. You got around about Richard Beasley, Brandon Keys, Joey Katina and company. But like you said, back in the backs where these guys are going to have to start thinking about it. Sometimes there's not a lot you can do though on a plate track. You're kind of just stuck there, and you got to hope that line is going to make waves. I've always been known to try to maybe make the inside, but you got to look back here around about with John Wimbish, Corey Chester, Robert Harley. They're all back there. They got to race their way in, but there's just nothing they can do, nowhere to go.
You're right. I think we're going to see some 3 wide action coming soon. Somebody needs to just say, I'm going to the outside. Somebody come with me. Call it out over the driver's chat. Say, I'm ready to go. Somebody come with me here and let's get to the front. But it's tough to do here. If you don't have that support behind you, you're just going to drop all the way back, and nobody wants to be the first one to get hung out to dry.
Absolutely. Right now, it'll be caution-free, but up front, you still got David Comstock powering to the outside or inside there to take it home. He's got Ryan Howard right behind him, Chad Coleman locked up. Looks like the top 3 guys are going to try to break away. That high lane is losing a little momentum right now.
It is. The inside line holds strong. They're 3 wide, a little bit further back. We're seeing somebody make the move. Finally, somebody, the Pink Panther truck, makes a move to the outside, but it's just like I said. He got hung out to dry. He's out there all by himself, but he got a good run, a little bit of luck. I talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, he's making it work on the outside. He's all by himself. If he can find a spot in the line, he could be the big winner here. But right now, stuck on the outside and losing a little bit of speed as the rest of the guys get up a little bit more horsepower.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look. He's trying to give it all he can, but I've always said you don't have to pass the guy. You just got to get your nose out front if you can get up there a few more positions. That's Robert Harley right there. Like you said, in that 34, right now he's making his stick. He's going along the side of Joey Katina. He might have only a couple more. He's using the side draft and that wall to his advantage. If he could get some help, he might be able to motor that high lane to the front.
Not many people realize it, but in these trucks, you can side draft pretty hard here on iRacing, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's getting a good run on the outside, making it work all by himself. Anyone else out there with him? Yes, the 54 is going to jump up. The 77 is making the outside look. The 53 jumps up with him. The outside line's forming up. The inside line is still holding strong. Some guys are peeling off. Looks like they might not have enough fuel to make it to the end.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, here comes Robert Harley. He said, hey, I want to make the show. At the moment he would make that, he is coming up to the high lane, and he's bringing a freight train with him. That is 3 wide to the front, almost for the lead. David Comstock out front leading it. Chad Coleman's in second, but look at that high lane rumble to the front side.
I think we've got some fuel concerns here. We saw the leaders hit pit road before. Did they save enough fuel? Could that have been the strategy? Just sit at the back, save as much fuel as you possibly can, and then make your push with just a couple laps to go as everyone comes in?
That would definitely be smart. That would be a smart move there, Jeff. You're right. And I'm going to tell you, Robert right now has made the high lane work. And you're right. David Comstock and him comes on pit road with about 2 or 3 to go. At this moment, if you're not locked in and you're up front, you can't pit. You're going to have to run that thing pure dry right now. You can't afford to come in pit road.
Robert Harley started in dead last, in 24th position, and now he made his move all the way up to the front. He got halfway there with no help whatsoever, finished off the job with a push from behind, and now he's the leader. But does he have enough fuel? When you're out front there, you're eating up all the fuel in the world. You're using more than anybody else because you're on the gas the entire time. The guys behind you, they'll lift. They have some draft to help them out and save fuel. That 34 there, Robert Harley, He better make sure he's got enough fuel, or else it's a little bit too late. As the 53 touches him and they go around, there goes Harley after a big run to the front. No caution, though. He's on pit road.
Man, I tell you what, so that might answer our question right there. Does these guys have enough fuel to make it one more time around Daytona here? It is getting very dicey up front. Like I said, if you're not in the show, you have got to try to make it. Some guys didn't save enough. Some guys did. Here comes the 6 machine coming to the front. That's Jonathan Lockhart with a push down the backstretch for the final time.
Spencer Boyd is the odd man out right now. It sounds like he's out of fuel there. He's run out of fuel. Spencer Boyd isn't going to make it, but up towards the front, they are 4 wide. I'm sorry. There's 4 of them pulling away, and they could go up to 4 wide here. Coming to the line, but those 4 are all going to advance. Your winner is Shane Ewing.
Man, what a finish to that race right there, folks. I tell you what, Jonathan Lockhart, Richard Beasley, the top 3 guys. I'll tell you what, I do know John T. Wimbish, he is going to lock himself into the Daytona race, because I know he was the one that had to race his way in there for sure, and he finished 7th. So, and remember, the top 8 that weren't locked in are the ones that are. So, give us a rundown on that one, man. What a finish to this one.
Your top 8 of the non-locked-in drivers: Shane Ewing, Richard Beasley, Corey Chester, Brandon Key, Tyler Overstreet, John Wimbish, Joey Gattina, and Milt Matisse all advanced. The odd ones out: Spencer Boyd, Patrick Colby, Jimmy Coleman, who ran at the front all night, Daniel Shirley, Robert Harley, Brian Wertman are all not going to advance. But Spencer Boyd ran out of fuel there at the end, but Milt Matisse finishes 10th, and he will advance.
Man, I tell you what, and that's just what the duels are all about. As we're getting set here, we're going to talk at least with the winner here before we switch over to our servers here, folks. You know, don't go anywhere. We still got Duel Race 2, and if you liked Race 1, man, stay tuned for Race 2 here, because it's going to be a wild one. But I'm going to bring up Shane Ewing real quick and get a word with him before we switch over. Shane, you waiting to boot to get a copy?
Hey, Joe.
Man, I tell you what, I know Mom's probably done passed out on the couch. You pulled this thing off in Duel Race 1. You're going to Daytona out there for the next week's race. How does it feel to pull this thing off?
Feels great, man. That Rayovac scheme looks a little cleaner tonight than it did last night. How about that?
Well, that's the thing. You went caution-free with 35 laps here in a duel race. Normally these things, man, get chaotic, but what a wild one. Did you think you was going to be able to pull it off, though?
No. We were all kind of on the button for fuel, and I got down to the low line and saved just enough. It was actually running out coming into the tri-oval, and whoever the truck was behind me was just pushing the hell out of me. So trucks were pitting there a couple laps from the end, and I almost got wadded up. It got half sideways. So, I was content to just run where I was running. I was 3rd of the go or go home trucks, and then when they all started pitting and the seas just parted, I said, what the hell, let's go see if we can win this thing.
Might as well. You got nothing to lose, but I tell you what, you put in victory lane, you locked into the show. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, man, I want to thank you guys at OSRN for putting this deal on. Nick Silver for all the work he does. Kick-ass beef jerky. I want to give a quick thanks to Trans Service Cup for last night's series. I never remember those guys, so I know they're not sponsoring this series, but I want to thank them for last night. I want to thank my wife, my mom, my kids, all my buddies at Dizzy Motorsports. Anthony was helping us out on the box, so it feels good to be locked in for next week, and I'm tickled.
Well, absolutely. We'll tell you what, again, congratulations on that win here tonight there, Shane.
Thanks, Joe. Have fun.
Righty, there we go. And I tell you what a wild one here at Daytona for Duel Race 1. Folks, like I said, don't go anywhere, because we got another one here, and if you enjoyed that, you're definitely going to enjoy it. So we're going to tune off here, and we'll keep the thing running. Switch out servers. We'll be right back here shortly. All right, welcome back, race fans. I tell you what, if you missed Duel Race 1, you're going to have to go back and check that out. 35 laps, flag to flag, without a caution, and went green flag. And Shane Ewing punching his ticket in to go to Daytona and race to try to win it there for the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series for the Sim500. That was exciting. But we're back. Duel number 2 here, Jeff. Man, you got any words? I mean, can we one up that Duel Race 1 or not?
I think that's yet to be seen. I'm excited to see it. I hope it's another 35 laps, green flag to green flag. And you know what? Now we know a little bit more. We know these guys might not have enough fuel. They have to save a little bit of fuel. But now all of these guys know it. So I don't think we're going to see anyone that wants to be out front leading the whole time, because if you lead every lap, you're going to run out of fuel. There's no doubt about it. You have to be sitting further back, letting off the gas every once in a while, and saving fuel if you want to make it all 35 laps here if they're all green.
Absolutely, and you're right, and we saw that. So I think that's going to go through some guys that watched Duel Race 1 and said, okay, I see the strategy, and it makes sense of why a lot of the guys in the back stayed there. So we'll have to see. And no, folks, we're not going to sit here for 40 minutes. He's going to advance the practice in. He's doing a little speech to the drivers right now. But the head guy there, Nick Silver, again, want to give a shout out here, man, to Kick-Ass Beef Jerky coming on board here for the 2020 Truck Series. And we're kicking it off live here at Daytona International Speedway. The epicenter for all things motorsports is what I say. I mean, this is the place that where it starts at. And, you know, rightfully would be awesome too, Jeff. I've always thought about this. It's the place where it starts. It should be the place to where it ends. And that would just be really epic.
Epic is an understatement, especially with everything that's going on here. This is going to be a fantastic race, I think. The top 8 will advance here of the drivers that are not locked in. A couple of notable names. You might recognize them if you were following along last season. Thomas O'Leary, Timothy Johnson are both not locked in. That's going to be really interesting to watch those guys, because they were not top 25 last season, so now they have to race their way in. I'm not too worried. I think they're going to be able to get it done. They are very capable drivers, but 35 laps here. You have to first finish the race if you want to win it. So Absolutely. Make sure you keep your truck clean.
I'm agree with you on that one. Let's grid them up. Anthony DeBarro's going to start it outside with Randy Yoakum there, with Matt Lacrosse starting in 3rd, Tyler Dalton up in the 4th, Jose Gonzalez in the 5th, Joey Woods up to 6th, Justin Fuller to 7th, Thomas O'Leary to 8th, Brian Macklin to 9th, and rounds the top 10, Chad Cole. So we got some heavy hitters starting up front already in this one. So look through the rest of the field. You know, Jeff, I've said it time and time again, we got some bad, fast drivers and some bad, fast hot rods that are about to do some awful bad, fast things around a huge, huge track tonight.
2.5 miles, they are going to be certainly putting these trucks to work. Everyone here wants to just keep it clean and advance, but only 8 of them will do so. The guys that are looking to do so: Chad Schilling, Timothy Johnson, Paul Mulrain, Jose Gonzalez, Brian Day as well, Joy Woods, Thomas O'Leary, Storm Patterson, Donnie Leah, Tyler Dalton, and Steve Herring are all the ones that are fighting for a top 8 position here of those guys that have not advanced, but a lot of them are already locked in and will be surely fine.
And it's going to be a wild one. Duel Race 1, like I said, from the green flag to the checkered, it went solid. They were side by side, door to door, and it was bad, fast racing throughout, and a lot of guys ran out of gas at the end. And what I'm out there in the Chad, John T. Wimbish, boy, he is stoked. Newcomer to the league here, the Sim500. Welcome aboard there. A lot of great of the veterans still here at the Sim500 racing. But John raced his way in along with several other drivers out there to be able to have a chance to win the Daytona race here to kick off the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky season. And I know I said it before, I'm going to say it again. It's a kick-ass way to start the season.
That is an understatement. This is just, it's how you do it. You have to do it this way. And you know what? Anthony DeBarro on the pole, we're going to say that plenty more times this season, I'm sure. He's locked in. Pace truck dives off. The green flag is out. DeBarro gets a good jump, but on the outside, Randy Yoakum, he is also right there, but falling back a little bit now.
Absolutely, and we saw these trucks in the last dual race and won. They were locked up side by side for the most of it. That's just the characteristics of the trucks out here. You'll probably see it. I said textbook drafting. You'll see these guys being patient, but you saw at the end of that race. And already, though, you see the bottom lane in this one break away in about a 4-truck freight train. The top line did not get going like it did before.
I'm sorry, did you say patience? I don't think we're going to be seeing too much of that here. First lap, they are darting all around. Everybody wants to get to that inside line and cruise around, it looks like. Right now, Doy Woods, though, is stuck up on the outside. He's right behind that 8-car Randy Yoakum, who is falling back. The inside line is where you got to be.
It is. We saw both lanes the last duel work out pretty good. Now here it comes. Looks like the high lane maybe got some momentum, is trying to bring it to the front. They just did not get going there in the push that they needed, but I think they're going to get a little help there in the form of, it looks like the 30 machine of Brian Macklin jumps up there the high lane along with the 8-car Randy Yoakum. I think we will see that high lane come back to the front, but already a little mix-up up front.
Everybody is darting around, making something happen one way or the other. Brian Macklin gets a good run as the inside line is all checked up. They're 3 wide for second right now. Shuffled all the way to the outside is Anthony DeBarro. He's now going to fall in behind Macklin. They're back to 2 wide. Yeah, just enough room to slip right in there. Randy Yoakum looks like he's going to go to the back. Joy Woods is sitting inside, but they're 3 wide a little further back.
Man, you already see Justin Fuller. Keep your eye on him. I've always told you, man, he has one speed, wide open to the floor, lap after lap. That man only knows one thing to do. He got the go Bo truck. That's Bojangles. It's Bo time, and it's go time for him up front.
Get moving and get moving quick. If you can't take the fire, get out of the kitchen, as I like to say. These guys know that they need to get up to the front. Apparently there was a wreck a little bit further back that we were hearing over on the race chatter, but right now, no cautions out.
I think it was Chris Jaboo. Let's go back and see if we can't get a replay on and see exactly what happened. It was, like you said, it was way back in the back here earlier on.
They looks like wide, Randy Yoakum on the outside, and just a little bit of contact there sent the 8 down into the 5. But my goodness,
I think it was when Randy Yoakum, he was going backward. We're watching this replay right here, right fast, just to let the viewers see it. And it just looks like, 3 wide, everybody checked up, and they went around and just went through the grass a little bit. Wow. But the reason no caution there, like a lot of times we've always said it, no caution is because if they get far enough off the track, Daytona's a big track, it don't always throw the caution here.
Right, everyone kept it relatively straight here. Chris did a fantastic job of keeping that truck rolling. He's lost the lead draft, but at the same time, he should be okay here. Actually, he's got back up to the lead draft. What a fantastic drive for him to get back up through the field.
What do you think the strategy is here? Right now, they look a little spread out more than what they did on the first race. Maybe they learned something from it with the fuel mileage. I think the guys in the back know that, but right now, Doy Woods has got it hammered to the floor up front. And is that the smart move to do right now?
If you're going to lead this race, then you better hope for a caution. I think that's the gamble he's taking. He wants to be out front and leading and hopes that there's a caution at some point. We are on lap 5 here at 35. Plenty of time for something to happen, but you have to be careful with that fuel mileage. Every time you lift off the throttle, you're saving a little bit more fuel. You need about 2 or 3 laps to make it to the end here from what you got. You have to make sure that you're saving enough fuel over the course of this run.
But Doy Woods dropped up to the outside right there and let another leader. That'd be Storm Patterson. What a name. I like that. Storm Patterson. Well, he stormed to the front in a hurry. Congratulations there, Corey, for making it. He also made it to the Daytona and the Duel Race 1.
Always a great feeling to race your way in, and a lot of really hard work goes into that. Making sure you're playing the race smart and making sure that you are where you need to be when that checkered flag flies. It's not easy to do when everyone else around you is working for the same thing. Right now, Storm Patterson is leading this race. Started in 16th all the way up to first. Another big mover, Chad Schilling, started in 24th. He's all the way up to 6th in that 25 truck. And ability to contact, Brian Macklin is low. He's going to be able to hold on to it here.
Yes, he did. Went in there, man, just hedged the trims just a little bit on the bottom right there, but he was able to hold on to that truck. But, man, going to lose a lot of spots. Might not hurt him because, again, fuel mileage will come into play. But just like that, a little contact, he's off the pace. Looks like he's going to go on into pit road. Maybe see if he can't just get a little fuel to make sure he's going to make it to the end there. But right now, it is a fight up front. You've still got Storm out front with Doey Woods, Anthony DeBarro, Jose Gonzalez. I call him Speedy, Tyler Dalton, Chad Schilling right there along with him, Paul Mullerin. Now, those two guys are new to the Sim500. I think Tyler Dalton is also. Now, I've not heard, well, Storm Patterson for that matter. So we do have some new names here to the Truck Series. A lot of regulars, Anthony DeBarro, Jose, Don Runkle, John Mustaine, Chris Jaboo, just to name a few out there, the veterans. But a lot of new names out here too there, Jeff.
It's always great to see a great league like this with a lot of respect between the drivers, a lot of clean driving here. You love seeing more people get added into it and become a part of the family.
Well, you know, when you can put almost 25, 30, 40-some drivers on a track at Daytona like it is bunched up, where we always say it's not if, it's when the big one will happen, and go flag to flag without a caution, sure enough, or even maybe one or two, you know you've got a good set of guys out here that know how to race around each other. And so far, we're seeing it. In a dual race where there's so much on the line, these guys are still being, I'll use that word, patient so far.
You have to be careful with that word because patience can wear thin awfully quickly here. But right now, Doey Woods is on the outside making it work. He's got Storm down on the inside. Let's see if Doey will go down to the bottom. He's pulling that 26 of Jose Gonzalez with him. Anthony DeBarro got shuffled out, and he's all the way back up to 5th now, swapping between lanes, trying to find where he's quick. But Doey Woods chooses to stay on the outside and block the outside lane. That is Chad Schilling behind him now.
Yeah, it is. Chad got a good run, heading off in the turn, going to see, but he held up right there on Doey as you got Jose down low there. He's got the trunk train heading to the front there. He is looking good. I call him Speed. He's definitely got some speed behind the wheel of that machine as he's out front in the 26. But you see the guys just hang off just a little bit, saving some fuel. Storm Patterson, Tyler Dalton, Anthony DeBarro, Paul Mullerin, all right there. Donnie Leah, too, another name I know of quite well throughout the series of iRacing. And John Mustaine looking good, too. That's your top 10 right there so far.
Right now, coming to lap 10, the guys that are locked in, Doey Woods, Jose Gonzalez, Storm Patterson, Chad Schilling, Tyler Dalton, Donnie Leah, Steve Herring, and Timothy Johnson. Those are the guys that would all advance if the race were to end right now. They're all fighting for the transfer positions, and right now they are locked in, but that can change awfully quickly.
Absolutely it can. Doey Woods up there, he got choked up, man, over the excitement. I'm getting choked up over this stuff too, man, Jeff. I tell you, it has been some good side-by-side racing, Daytona style. Now, when they come back here for the first race of the season, there'll be 40-some drivers on this field, and these guys will be fighting it out to try to win the first Kick-Ass Beef Jerky's race at Daytona. They go almost 3 wide back there with Paul, Tyler, and company. Man, look at a 29 machine make waves.
Oh, here comes the one car. Wow! He sliced his way through the field. Here comes the 52. Gonna slice his way up, takes it 3 wide, drives it up through the middle. Gonna go to the outside of the one car. My goodness! Where did they come from and where are they going?
Out of nowhere.
Absolutely flying.
Man, out of nowhere, boy, I tell you, Sean Castro brought that lime machine to the front. Sean did well and brought John Mustaine Jr. with him. Doey Woods there. They're still side by side with Jose Gonzalez, Chad, Storm, and all those companies that head off into turn 3. Well, these guys, man, are definitely getting very dicey up front. I would have thought they would actually been relaxed and maybe try to save some fuel here, but right now, it's only lap 11. I don't think they're in conservation mode.
I don't think so either. That was phenomenal. I mean, it was surgical precision to put that truck through the middle, take it 3 wide, and not have any issues whatsoever. 22nd to first. Here comes the outside line. The 51 and the 93 flying up on the outside. Nobody is wanting to wait a minute longer. We saw a lot of patience in the first race. There's Justin Fuller making the outside work. Pulls the 93 and Kevin Brown with them, and now they're clear at the front.
I got it. Jeff, I gotta say it, Justin Fuller has got a chicken truck, and remember Kevin Brown, he used to drives the Twinkie Mobile. Well, you've got chicken and drugs, because he's got CVS on his car to truck tonight. Man, they got a duo coming out front, and they are walking away from the pack behind them. Where, like you said, where in the world did they get this speed from?
It's like the tandem draft back in 2011 Cup cars at Daytona. They are pulling away from the field. They've got a 0.6 second lead. That's unheard of here at Daytona International Speedway. How did they do this?
I have no idea, but he's got a fast truck, Justin Fuller. I know one thing. He has got that pedal sling front to the front end of that thing, trying to make it go. Kevin Brown's locked to the back bumper. But behind him, John Mustaine Jr., he is right there with Sean Castro, Doey Woods. You're right, it is almost like tandem drafting because you've got two up front, two behind them, three right there. Everybody single file for the moment. Just goes to show you, I don't know how much saving, but here comes John. They're getting a run on the top two.
Fuel mileage are two words that are unheard of here in this race right now, as everybody has their foot to the floor. They are flying. It is a 4-car breakaway at the front. They really made something happen there. I still can't believe that. I'm in shock how they just blew past the field and are pulling away. And right now, Justin Fuller is sitting on the outside. He's going to fall back, probably to save a little bit more fuel. I think it was more of a show to everyone else. Hey, look what I can do here. As we see the 25 coming up quick, they check up on the outside, and Fuller is going to get pushed by the 25.
You can already see how the draft plays a factor in these trucks, how much of a run you can get. Even though they got way out in front of this pack, they ran them down in a hurry, and then we're back bunched up again in a duel. I call it a hornet's nest, man, amongst all these drivers out front. If you're not having fun with this one, if this is not making your hair run up and down your arm, well, folks, man, racing ain't for you, because it might be virtual, but these guys right now are putting on a show unlike any other here on iRacing.com. Your motorsports simulator here tonight.
I like to say that the car and the track might be virtual, but the emotions and the skill are very, very real. We saw these guys blast their way to the field, 22nd all the way to third right now, fighting for second. They're 3 wide behind him, though. Oh my goodness, John Mustaine has worked his way to the front. The inside line with a breath of life is flying by, led by the 83 of Jason Barham. The inside line, the middle line is flying past the inside line now. New leader, the 83.
I think Justin Fuller fell back. He got up front. He said, I know what my truck can do. I know I can get up front anytime I want. I'm going to get back here, save a little bit of fuel, make it last. Jason Barham, he is the head man for the kick-ass beef jerky, and he has got that truck out front right there showing its colors off. He is leading this race right now, but on the outside comes Kevin Brown. You got Matt Lacrosse hooked up behind him. You got 3-4 high, 4 down low, coming here door to door as they storm off down the back stretch, heading off into turn 3.
We saw a little bit of restraint in the first duel. We saw everyone out there running their race and knowing that they just had 35 laps and they would do the best that they could. This race is pure mayhem. This is the last race after being, it's like injecting kick-ass beef jerky, the whole spirit of the brand, right into your veins, because everyone right now, pedal to the floor, absolutely fighting with everything they've got. Nobody's giving an inch, and everybody wants to win this race.
Absolutely they are. Jason Barham would love to put this thing in victory lane. Matt's right there. Has on the ball on the car
Big
around.
Mac.
Yes, it is. Man, right there. That's the one machine. That's going to throw out the caution here. John Mustaine Jr. is around. Let's go back on the replay and see what happened up front with him.
Just
John
got
Mustaine,
sucked
yeah.
up a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Sean Castro. Ouch. Oh, and then just got pile drive by the 28. Ouch. I mean, a hard lick, man, right there with the 28 machine. I hate that. That's Timothy Johnson there, but go back and watch it one more time. You're right. It looks like just a little side draft between him and Sean Castro, and then they just got collected, and the next thing you know, boy, Timothy Johnson, nowhere to go. Wham. Caution. First one here tonight.
Yeah, Timothy Johnson just was driving it in hard, didn't really have anywhere to go. He's going to take it behind the wall. That will be his night. Man, that was just a little bit of side drafting gone wrong. One zigged when the other zagged and caused that wreck right there.
you know, in this Daytona, it's going to happen. These trucks are bouncing everywhere, and that's just a product of the draft, a product of the truck, and how these things get, you know, move all over the place. They happen in real life also, and it does not take much. They have said it before in real racing, back in it, and it's still to this day. These cars are going so fast, the downforce, no matter how much downforce they have, or how much aerodynamics they have, when they're going so fast, they said you could literally go out there with your hand and touch that car and make them go around, truck or whatever. They have just got that much of a wind and that much uneasiness about them. So it doesn't take much right there, as you saw, especially with these things jumping around.
It doesn't take much at all. These are very powerful machines moving extremely quickly, and when that gets unsettled, they really do not like it. We could see some strategy here. If there is not a green-white checkered, I think you can stay out and make it on fuel, assuming you're saving fuel right now under caution. Driving around in fourth gear, shutting off your engine, keeping your clutch in, doing everything you can to save every drop of fuel, you should be able to make it to the end right now.
If I'm back maybe 15th or further, so maybe would come in for fuel. If I'm out front, I don't know. I'm like you. I think I'd try to save the fuel the best I possibly could up front and see what I could, you know, do. We're going to be working with the past 20, you know, we'll be past lap 20 when we go back green. So we're going to have less than 15 to go. These guys started running out of fuel with about, I don't know, what, about 5-6 laps left or so? I'd say around about that time.
About 2 or 3 laps to go last race, we saw people jumping down to pit road. So really, they should be able to make it here if they're saving enough fuel under caution.
And that's going to play into the guys up front's mentalities. What do you do? Or the guys behind them, what do I do? Do I pit? Do I stay out? You know, can I save enough fuel here? I know they're trying to run their calculators to death up there. Right now, Jason Barham's, it's definitely going to help the leader. Let's just say that. This caution definitely helps the leader because whoever's out front, we know, is burning the most fuel and is usually the one in the most danger of not being able to make it all the way.
You are right. Your dream position right here is you want some teammates around you. And I don't know if Jason has any out here with him, but the dream for Daytona International Speedway is you want to be first, third, and fifth with your teammates, assuming you have 2 others. But you want all of you guys lined up, and you want to just be lined up right behind and going and pushing. You can rotate on who's leading out front if you have the opportunity, you have the luxury to do so. But you just want to be able to have guys around you that you can rely on and work with and run calculations with and see where you stand in comparison to other drivers. I don't know if Jason has that right now, but I can bet you he's wishing he does if he doesn't.
Absolutely. We'll run the caution for the first time here for Duel Race 2, folks. If you missed Duel Race 1, you need to go back and watch that one. It was a wild one with flag to flag, caution free. Only one here so far for Duel Race 2. As remember, only 8 guys who are not locked in are going to make it into this one here tonight. But we're at Daytona for the kick-ass beef jerky here tonight for the Sim500. Kicking off the 2020 season. Appreciate everybody out there tuning in. If you're tuning in on the Facebook side of OSR Network, thank you. Hit a like, hit a share out there. Appreciate that. If you're on the YouTube side there of OSR Network, do the same, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Know the league and everybody out there would enjoy it. Let me know out there in the chat, who's your favorite driver? Who you rooting for? If you got a son, a daughter, or a loved one, significant other, whatever. I mean, a neighbor out here racing. And if you got a neighbor making racket right now, tell them be quiet because we're racing.
Or maybe they're making racket because they are racing, you know. They're on an iRacing account of their own. I'll tell you what, iRacing membership has skyrocketed. Right now, right this second, there's over 13,000 people racing at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night. That's absolutely unbelievable. So if you're watching this and you're not yet involved with iRacing and you're like, oh, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, I'll tell you what. Right now on Amazon, for $200, you can get the Thrustmaster TMX Pro. I've done over 1,600 races, driving worth over 1,650 races. And about 1,600 of those were on one set, on one wheel, and then I bought a different pedal set, also Thrustmaster. But if you get good equipment, it's $200 on Amazon right now. It's on sale from $250. Go ahead, pick it up, and get an iRacing subscription. Now's the time to do it. It's a lot of fun. It's great racing. So if you're on the fence about it, definitely try and make that jump.
I've always said iRacing.com or iRacing here in general is the realest thing you can do without spending millions of dollars to go real racing. And you do see a lot of the real racers, and I hope everybody's staying safe out there, by the way, with everything that's going on. And I also want to, a little bit off subject here tonight, a lot of people might know, but a lot of my family members will know. I want to give a shout out and want to keep hearts and prayers and thoughts and prayers to the Smith family as she lost her husband here tonight. Good man, Tony. Known him for a long time in my life. I hate that. I know he's looking down and smiling up a cool breeze, and he definitely can watch out and watch everything there. So definitely a little off to what we are, but wanted to give a shout out there, and hope everybody out there staying safe too. And then, like we just said, with iRacing, it's something to do. I saw it the other day, Jeff, as we're getting set to go back green, but real quick, I saw it the other day. This is the time where gamers shine. We're locked in the house.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And I'll tell you what, production, work for us here on the broadcasting side has skyrocketed. There's so many broadcasts.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've stepped back a little bit on the stuff, but I'm going to tell you where you're right. A lot of it's there because iRacing has been out to the masses now. A lot of people know. And it's awesome as we're getting set here to go back to this race here. Daytona style pace truck is in. Duel race number 2. Jason Barham's going to lead him to the green. He's going to waste no time dropping the hammer. We're back green flag racing.
A good jump there for Jason, but you don't want to get too far out front here because you will get absolutely eaten up by the guys that are all drafting back there. So a small jump is exactly what you need. But right now, the outside line looks like he might be working with Matt Lacrosse leading the way.
Got a better jump on that outside, like you just said. Matt Lacrosse up high. He's going to see if he can't bring that freight train of trucks up there and get going. Remember last time they didn't get going too well, but right there, he is going to take the lead for the moment. Jason Barham's down low. He's got a slew, and boy, they're getting awful racy in the back. Awful wiggly there amongst those like the Hootermobile. That's Anthony Navarro. Wow, he almost lost that thing.
Holds on to it there. He started at the front and pole. He's now looking to the outside. He makes it 3 wide, a little bit further back. Somebody tell him we still got 13 laps to go here, but he's going to make something happen. The third line is alive with Matt Lacrosse now leading it. They are 3 wide and 3 deep. 3 wide, 4 deep now, trying to make it work, but the outside line gets all sorts of checked up.
Yes, it does. In between the wall, not a lot of room to make a mistake. And boy, you can see them inches upon inches with each other. They're 3 wide in the mid-pack with Anthony Navarro and company back there with Mike Matesi and company. Brian Days right there, lone winner. 3 wide for the lead up front here. As you can see, Jose Gonzalez, Jason Barham, Doey Woods. Boy, look at that streamline of trucks come out of the turn.
It's not even 3 wide for first. It's 3 wide for first through 15th. Everyone is fighting for position here. We've still got 12 laps to go. A little bit of contact. Everyone's making it work with the 19 truck. Right now, Jose Gonzalez, though, is in the lead, and they're going around. Big wreck at the front.
Oh, it was. It started up front there. We're going to go back. Looks like Storm Patterson and company, man. Got around. Caution will fly here. Whoa, let's go back on the replay. Oh, unfortunate there, Jason Barham. Let's go back and watch real quick. As they were 2 wide for the moment. Jason was down low right there. We're heading off into the turn there, Jeff. And it just looks like maybe just bump drafting or so forth in the tri-oval going wrong. We're going to watch it here. In through the tri-oval, heading to the line. As soon as they got to the line, yeah, looks like Jason Barham's truck just kind of got a little side draft hard, got up into Doey Woods, caught the back of Jose. Next thing you know, it was a chain reaction from there, and everybody's around.
You're exactly right there. What happens in these trucks is you get side by side with someone, and it just pulls the truck up. I guarantee you Jason Barham didn't even notice that his truck had moved up the track. And he's probably thinking to himself, I didn't move at all. I don't know how that happened. But these trucks move just ever so slightly and get pulled into one another. It's nothing that anyone did wrong. It's just That's racing at Daytona.
Absolutely, plate style racing, right? Just looks like, you know, you're coming in a trove when we talked about the trucks moving around so much, and you just saw it right there, just a little bobble, and they're so close with each other. Does not take much of a hit. Just got a little side by side. Now, the problem was when he got side by side, Jose was right there and he caught the quarter panel, and then it was just a chain reaction from that moment on. But under caution here, this does set up a good one though, because we're at lap 25. It's going to be definitely way less than 10 to go here. Goes through your mind. Everybody should be able to make it at this point now.
You're right. Everyone should be able to make it on fuel. What's going through your mind is, how am I going to make sure that I'm one of the guys that transfers if you are not locked in? And if you are locked in, you're saying, how am I going to win this race? But the guys, if the race were to end right now, the way it would run, we have Joy Woods, would make it, Tyler Dalton, Donnie Leah, Thomas O'Leary, Chad Schilling, Paul Mulrain, Storm Patterson, and finally Jose Gonzalez would all advance. So that would leave Timothy Johnson, Steve Herring to be the odd ones out. I believe they are going to be the odd ones out. Just a couple more laps here until they are mathematically eliminated. One more lap until Timothy Johnson is mathematically eliminated. So Jose Gonzalez, all he has to do is go out and continue running. He could park it right now, assuming that Timothy Johnson doesn't go out and turn any more laps. Those are the guys that are advancing. So now you're sitting and thinking to yourself, okay, I know I'm locked in. How am I going to win this race and make a good impression?
You know, and here's the thing. Jose just got caught up in that wreck there. We just saw it. It's going to be amazing. He's probably just a sigh of relief that it didn't happen earlier on. Unfortunate on Tim Johnson's part there. Got caught up in the wreck early on in the race. Just how it goes sometimes at Daytona. Sometimes you're the man in, sometimes you're the man out. I hope everybody's appreciating it out there. What's up, Nick, Joey? How y'all all doing out there on the Facebook side? Also on the YouTube side, how y'all doing out there? Again, y'all let me know who's your favorite driver, who you rooting for. I tell you, y'all, Jeff, they must all be glued to their set right now because, man, they quiet.
Everyone... I accidentally pressed the wrong button and got into my truck there. That was my bad. I've got too many buttons here, and if I push the wrong one, I'm all of a sudden behind the wheel of a car, and I'm going, what is this? Yeah, I think everyone is just sitting here enjoying the racing. I don't know if they fell asleep because it's 10:18 at night, but if they're like me, their sleep schedule is all sorts of wonky, so they're probably awake. But let's hear it up in the chat. Who are you guys rooting for? Who do you think is going to end up winning this race? Because those might be two different answers.
You know, and you're right, because at the end of the dual race one, we would have probably said somebody else, but it ended up Shane Ewing out of nowhere on that one. And congratulations to him pulling off the win and actually advancing into the Daytona 500. Joey Woods the man out front right now, but we've seen it time and time again. This is Daytona. It's a wild card race. These guys definitely know what they're doing, and they can put on a show out here. It's not over with. Don't count out any one of them top 10 or anybody on this track. They could all come through the field and win this one here tonight.
We've seen a lot of guys make runs through the field, and our second place driver, Steve Ritter, started in 26th this race. It's definitely possible to make your way through the field.
It is right now. I'll tell you what. All right, well, Foxy out there says, let's go Storm. And I got to give a shout out. That is I will say that's a cool name. Storm Patterson. Sounds like a Hollywood superstar name.
It really does. I could see that someone being an actor with that name, but he's
Marvel
sitting back
superhero or something, you know?
That's true. I don't know. Superstorm. That's what we should start calling him. He's back there in 18 right now in that 63 truck. He's got some work to do, but I think he might be able to get it done. He was running up there near the front. Some other big movers here tonight. 26th to 2nd, Steve Ritter. 19th up to 4th is Brian Day. He is not locked in, so he is racing for a chance to continue. Donnie Leah, same thing. 15th to 6th, not locked in. Kevin Brown up 7 spots, up 9 spots. Mike Montesi, he is locked in. A big mover, 24th to 10th, Chad Schilling. All the way through the rest of the field, everyone there is trying to race their way in. They should be able to be locked in now. There's only 8 of those non-locked in drivers still running, but you don't want to do something dumb and give away that chance.
Oh, absolutely not. You know, definitely these guys are trying to use their head out there and see what they can come up with as we get set to go back green. But, man, a lot of guys running through the field, like you said, and Storm, he's got a fan club out there. Got Blue Cable and Foxy out there. Definitely cheering them on. As for the win, awesome. As Joey Wood's going to bring him around. Steve Ritter, Tyler Dalton up front, Brian Day. Like I said, got us some new names here to the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series. A lot of the old veterans. Joey Wood's definitely one of the veterans here. I've seen him do some amazing things in the truck. So he knows how to get the trucks around this track. But again, it's Daytona. It's anybody's race.
It certainly is. You don't know who's going to win this race until the checkered flag is already flown, and sometimes it still takes a couple minutes to decipher it. But right now, they are 2 by 2 getting ready to go back green here. I think everyone is getting a bit nervous. It's going to be 7 laps until the checkered flag.
Dakota, well, I'm not 100% sure when the next Monster Energy race will be. I mean, talking about the actual virtual one that they're doing. You got to check Fox on that one, because I definitely ain't Fox. I'll say on that, but you have to check Fox on that one. I don't know when they're going to open up racing back, if that's what you're talking about, the real one. So, but I can tell you when the next Sim500 race is going to be. That's in 2 weeks. And actually, I believe they're going to have another truck series one next week. So tune in there on OSR Network as we get set to go back. Green flag, here we go. Pace truck's about to drop off. Joey Woods out front. Steve Ritter there in second. Tyler Dalton up to third. Brian Day to fourth. Matt Lacrosse to fifth. Pace truck is in. The green flag is almost in the air. We're back racing.
There they go. The inside line seems to have a bit of an advantage here. Oh, that 7 truck looks to go to the outside. Thinks better of it, Mike Montesi, that is. Right now, Tyler Dalton pushing with everything he's got is that 19 car. The 22 is a little bit shaky trying to get up to that back bumper of the 19. 7 laps to go here. This is where things get dicey.
Yes, it does. Patience is starting to wear thin. You throw it out the back window if you can, but they're 3 wide, dicing it up front. There's Steve Ritter and company, Brian Day, and all those guys there as they storm off down the backstretch for the moment. In turn 3, 2 by 2. They're 3 wide for third on back there.
Anthony DeBarro trying to make that outside line work. The 16 squeezes in. I don't know how that happened. Man, that was amazing. I don't know how he pulled that off. Wow.
Man, skin to teeth right there on it there. That was awesome. Steve Ritter, Thomas O'Leary, Richard Swavely right there as they come to the line. Joey Woods, he's got a nose out front for the moment over Tyler Dalton. And up front with Matt Lacrosse, Brian Days, a couple of newcomers up there battling with the old veteran himself here at the Sim500. But it's a good race, still locked up door to door off the bad stretch.
You know, at Stafford Motor Speedway, we call that Nutrisysteming your way in. You make yourself skinny and fit in a hole. That was quite amazing. We're going to see a whole lot more of that, though, as they are getting a little bit dicier here. Just coming to 5 laps to go. Now, Anthony DeBarro all by himself on the outside, but we saw that work in the last race, and he got all the way up to the front. It was Robert.
Yes, he did. I think Anthony's probably going to need a little help. He's got a front end that's bad, and usually you know and I know aerodynamics is a huge thing here. Look at those trucks dance around side by side. You can just see them wheeling. The air's pushing them around. There's nothing that they can do, and the truck in front, just all it does is it's like a dance in motion. Folks, you can see we're riding actually along here with Matt Lacrosse. He's not moving the wheel, but you see that truck bouncing around. That's just the air pushing that thing.
These things are hard to drive. They are big, they are bulky, they're heavy, and you really got to wheel these things. As that 7 car now makes another look to the outside. That's Mike Montesi. He's got DeBarro behind him. I don't know if they've got enough momentum to make a big move up here towards the front, but Tyler Dalton is leading the way on that outside a little bit further ahead. He's got the nose, 0.017 seconds. They fan out. They're 3 wide for the lead.
Man, they do, and boy, what a bump draft by the 29 machine right there. Almost got Brian Day all kind of sideways, but he is pushing and shoving to get him to the front. 3 wide right there in the backside. Well, Brian felt that, and he was able to hold on to that machine. Well, that was a wild ride for him there. It looked like almost a bull ride, if you ask me.
Well, I may be an engineer, but I did my math incorrectly before. Right now, there is still someone that's going to be eliminated out there. Jose Gonzalez is the odd man out. He cannot keep up with the draft. Looking like he'll be okay, but Storm Patterson now is feeling the heat. He has to make sure he runs this race clean.
Yes, he does, Storm. And up front, there's going around the 16. That's a huge wreck up front. Oh, my Lord, it took out half the field.
Anthony DeBarro snuck his way through somehow. He's the only one to survive it seems.
Wow, I'm going to tell you what right there. Brian Day went around on a ride up front. Let's go back and watch what transpired on this one, because, whoo, that was a huge, huge wreck up front here amongst all these drivers. It started with the 16th, and then Brian Day took a huge lick. I mean, you got cars everywhere. 52, Brian is all tore up. Ouch. Just ouch.
Man, everyone was involved in that wreck, except for Storm Patterson. He was far enough behind that he was okay, and Anthony DeBarro snuck his way through. Other than that, everyone's visiting the Infield Care Center for an extended stay, I think.
Man, that was the big one right there, and we watch from the back here. We're going to watch up front. Watch this. I'll say from Steve Ritter's standpoint, the 16 machine, he's up front right now, coming out of it. The next thing you know, he's just going around. He went to go down and was not clear, got clipped. And from that moment on, it was a chain reaction. It took him a sailing. Him and several other trucks. I mean, you can see the 60 just took flight. Wow.
These trucks have a lot of downforce, but when that downforce goes away, they like to fly. As we saw with the 60 truck right there, he got airborne and went around just soaring through the air, having himself a nice flight. As Ricky Bobby once said, yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
No, it's not. Let's watch here again. Get another replay of that wreck, because that was a wild one. And you just saw it, man. You know, Steve was trying to make his way down low. Just got a little bit clipped from behind, and just trucks everywhere from that moment. He had a good push coming to the front. He thought he was clear down low, and just wasn't, barely. You can see right there, just trucks all over the place.
That was a massive wreck. That was absolutely massive. That is the only way to describe it. And,
well, what does that do for... Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. Now, I'll go ahead and say, ladies out there, Storm Patterson's stayed out. I think he made it through the wreck. So, Anthony is up front. Now, remember, though, Anthony's got damage on his truck. Now, Storm has a little bit of damage on his. Might hurt him a little, but remember, Anthony having that front end damage, not the ideal place. I'm going to say not the ideal place. We're going to be on the green, white checker rules here, folks. We're definitely going to get one attempt. That's the thing they do here at the Sim500. There's one attempt at green, white checkered. So if it goes green and the caution flies real quick, it's over with at that point, or you take the white flag. But kind of assess what we got here, Jeff. The top three guys, they do have a little front end damage. Gonna hurt them. Jason Barham has damage. Chad Cole, though, look at his truck. It's clean. Might be the man right now who, I don't know. Well, he's got a little front end damage too. Actually, the whole top 7 is all damaged. So, forget about what I was about to say. All these guys, it's gonna who's got the less damage and can get through that air the best.
You're right. It's just whoever is the least damaged will be able to win this race. I saw Brian Day duck out of pit road and work his way around the track one more time just to be sure he wouldn't be in front of Paul Mulrain. But right now, those guys, it is a competition, a very slow competition because they are both parked in the pits, between Brian Day and Paul Mulrain on who will advance. They are both 2 laps down at the moment with heavy, heavy damage. But right now, as it sits, Brian Day will advance, and Paul Mulrain will not. But one of them could leave the pits. I think Paul Mulrain might be able to leave the pits. If he makes one more lap, he will be locked in.
Yes, he will. Let's look at it. Like I said, green, white, checkered. They'll get one attempt. They'll take the green, and then if a caution was to fly right after that, race is over. That's probably what Anthony would like to see. Now, look at it here. Tyler Dalton, if you look at his truck, probably has a little bit of the worst damage. Storm, not too bad. Jason Barham, he's kind of okay. Anthony, out of all of them, I think is probably the best looking truck. Still, it will hinder him a little bit to be out front. He's only going to have to make it work a couple laps. Yeah, looking through the field here, and really, I'll be honest with you, there's not a lot of trucks that's there. Now, remember what you said earlier about Jose Gonzalez? Up to 9th.
He is up to 9th. He is locked in. That was the caution he needed. And right now, Paul Mulrain is ahead of Brian Day. Is Paul Mulrain back on track? Is he moving again? No. Somehow Brian Day is being scored behind him. But something happened, and Paul Mulrain is now in the transfer spot.
Trying to see if we can't where Paul is. I'm not seeing him on the track here at all.
Neither am I.
Actually, Paul Mulrain is out. He is out of the race. Mike Matessi's out. Matt Lacrosse is out officially. John Mustaine Jr. out. Timothy Johnson's out. Steve Herring out. And Brian Macklin officially out of the race.
Brian Day is still sitting on pit road. He's still here.
He is.
But now he needs to go out and run a lap. Otherwise, he will be scored behind Paul Mulrain.
Yes, he does. I don't know if he knows that, but he's got probably... Here's the problem. He's probably got a lot of mandatory damage that he has to get done. If it was optional, he could get out there and get that, like you said, go around and get the lap. But if it's mandatory, he's just kind of stuck going, oh, come on, guys, knock some fenders or do something. Get me out there for a lap so I can make this show, because it's just heartbreaking to sit where you are.
It really is. It's frustrating, and you're just stuck there, and there's nothing you can do. We'll see if he'll be able to get back out there, though. I'm really not sure.
Absolutely. Well, this is going to be a good one right now. And you're right. Cole is actually... Talking about Chad Cole? Chad Cole real quick. Chad Cole's got a little front end damage. That might actually hinder him just a little bit. We're going to have to see. Might not be too bad. Really, pretty much every truck up front's got damage, whether it be front or back. Most of them's on the front. So I think... even-wise, they might all be even, kind of, so to speak. It's going to be interesting here on this green-white checkered. Got to go for it either way at this point.
As one of my, I guess not so well-versed friends once said, this is a war of nutrition out here. And right now, it's just the first one to make it to the end and survive this many laps after a dual race where we saw no cautions. But the pace car is in, green flag is out. That inside line doesn't go. DeBarro's got a lot of front-end damage.
Yes, he does, and he's probably got it to the floor, but it's just a product of how that aerodynamics is. You can see them already fanning out. What trucks are what? They're trying to get what they can get. Back here, though, you got Storm. He's going to stay glued, and if I was Storm, he's probably in the spot he probably wants to be. I would stay, unless Chad Cole comes with me, I'm staying locked up behind Anthony Navarro. Unless Anthony is just slowing me up all that much, I'm going to stay right where I'm at because he's locked into the show.
He is locked into the show, and it looks like Paul Mulrain is going to be the last one to transfer. Brian Day is still sitting on pit road as these guys are coming around to take the white flag now, coming off turn 4. Now, how is Storm going to win this race? It looks to be a little bit of a better truck in better shape, but does he have enough to get the draft and get around DeBarro here? And when does he make that move?
He needs help. He can't get out there and do it himself. We just saw Chad Cole jump on the outside and wasn't able to make it go because of just that front end damage. So he's going to need help. I've always said it. You don't have to pass the truck. You just got to get in front of him. Don't count that second pack out, though, that's coming up quick. Chris Jaboo, he could definitely make it up there because they're coming to the turn here. Turn number 3, and Storm looks to the outside. Remember, Chris has got a clean truck. He is closing fast, coming out of turn 4 for the final time. Oh, Storm hits him.
DeBarro gets bumped, and he goes around, overcorrects. Looks like Jaboo's going to win it.
Chris Jaboo is going to take it. He's a drag race to the line. They touch, they bump. Chris Jaboo's going to win it with Steve Ritter, but Storm tried to go around. He's going to still advance. And I think Anthony and him he had to do what he could do. It was a block up front there. It was racing. But, man, Chris Jaboo was coming. I think it was going to be a drag race to the line no matter what. But, wow, what a finish to this one.
polar opposite to what we saw originally in the first heat race, but making it work, I guess.
Yes, it was, man. What a wild one here. Oh, boy, I tell you what, I don't know where to begin with these guys, because it was definitely a wild race from the start to the finish here at that Daytona. That was awesome. That was just strictly awesome.
It really, really was. They did a fantastic job keeping it clean for the most part towards the beginning, but right there at the end, Chris Jabou did exactly what he needed to do to bring home the win.
Yes, it does. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring up Chris Jabou, and I'm going to bring up the man himself here. Find him down here fast. What a race, though. That was a truly an awesome one. And I hope everybody out there, man, loved it. Got more of that here to come. But let's bring up the race winner here, Chris Jabou, and get a word in with him. Chris, you in the booth? Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, I tell you what a wild one. You were coming fast. Looks like you had probably the best looking truck up there. Do you think you would have had enough time to get to those guys and make that pass on the last turn?
Man, that was crazy. Had a crazy run with Steve pushing me there. I didn't think we were going to quite get there, but obviously with them guys getting together, I still did. I can't believe I made it through it. I want to see a replay of that.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, you just, the Red Seas parted, you went down low, and it was right there for you. I mean, you were coming in a hurry. Awesome win here for Duel Race 2. I mean, you got anybody out there you want to thank?
Obviously, shout out to Kick-Ass Beef Jerky, sponsoring this series. They've been with Sim500 partnered for a couple years now. Really nice to see them come back for another season. Yeah, the admins here do a great job. You guys at OSRN, just happy to race here.
Oh, man, no doubt about it. It was an awesome win there, Chris. Man, I tell you again, congratulations on that win here for Duel Race 2 here for the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky, presented by the Sim500 here for the Truck Series. Again, congratulations, Chris.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Jeff, I'm going to bring up real quick. This guy right here is the main man behind the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. Jason Barham, how you doing?
Hey, not too bad. Kind of a little bummed out there.
Well, real quick, I'm going to tell you what, we're going to bring you up here because, man, what a way to kick off the 2020 season here for the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series. 2 dual races, outstanding racing out there. I mean, it was awesome to show. What was your take on the racing? I mean, it was phenomenal for where we were.
I tell you what, that truck is a handful. I mean, if you were look back at that replay, I was thinking about coming in the pit just to get some new fresh tires on there. I mean, if you had a guy, especially on the front stretch there in the tri-oval, like kind of bump draft it was all over the place. So I mean, it's a good thing that we went through this week, kind of get a little test in what the setup's gonna feel like. But I tell you, I was holding my breath for quite a while there. I was gripping the wheel as hard as I could, so I guarantee you next week's going to be a great race. Excited for it.
Absolutely, and you're right. I mean, I've said it all night long. I mean, Kick-Ass Beef Jerky on board this season for a kick-ass of a start to a season, man. And I tell you, Jason, tell us a little bit about our Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. I know you got some promo codes out there, so I wanted to bring you up. So let the folks out there know, because we had a good showing here tonight.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank Kick-Ass Beef Jerky for coming on board. And, at a tough time right now, everybody with everything going on with the old COVID-19 virus, they're going to do a code for us to get 19% off if you go to kickassbeefjerky.com and you put in Sim500, SIM500. It will get you 19% off any product from Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. It's tough right now to go out and spend money, but I tell you what, it's just that good of a product. So go out there and get some of that, and I guarantee you will not regret it.
Well, they sent me a gift package a couple years ago, and I enjoyed it, and telling Jeff up here about it, and definitely all the folks out there check it out. And like you said, I appreciate them coming on board here for this series here for the Sim500, the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series, kicking it off at Daytona. Thanks Jason, thanks everybody, man, for coming up here and all the support y'all do.
Hey, I just want to say thanks to you guys up there, you, Joe and Jeff.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that package. I'll be checking my mail for that for the sample package. All right.
All right, buddy. Sounds like a plan, man. Sounds
Thank
like
you
a definite
for,
plan, man. Hey, keep doing what you guys are doing up in the booth, man. You guys are awesome up there. All right.
Much appreciated. Thank you for helping out this series. The sponsors are what keep us going. So genuinely, thank you. Without you, these drivers wouldn't have anything to do, and we would be out of a job up here. So thank you much.
Much appreciated. Thanks, guys. Peace out.
All right, there you go. Jason Barrow, man, one of the head guys there, brings up the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky brand to the sport here with the Sim500. Well, Jeff, I'm going to tell you what, that right there was a show. 2 dual races, and it's only a taste of what we got for next week to come to Daytona. But if you like that, folks, stay tuned because it's going to be next Wednesday. Now, we're off for the Trans Service Cup next Monday and whatnot. So the next race here, check it out at OSR Network. Hit the follow, the likes, the shares out there. Appreciate it. But for myself and everybody here, Kick-Ass Beef Jerky and Sim500, everyone, have a good night.